What's up everybody, Yshai Afterman here, and today I want to talk to you about how to choose your first lapstyle frame drum. There are a few important elements to talk about. We'll break them down, and at the end of the video I'll play for you a few models that I have. So the first and probably the most important factor is the diameter of the drum. When playing the lapstyle frame drum, we want to have a 90 degrees angle in our knees and a 90 degrees angle in our torso and thighs. Then we're positioning the drum on our weaker thigh, leaning it towards our chest, resting our weaker hand on the drum in this downward slope, and we want to make sure that the shoulder is higher than the drum. So you can see from this angle, you'll see that the drum is lower than my shoulder. Having a drum that is at the same height or higher than your shoulder will very likely cause an injury in your shoulder. So this is very important. This is a 15-inch drum and it's clearly fitting me good. Now, this is a 17-inch drum, and also you can see that it's still safe for my shoulder. This is a 19-inch drum, and you can see that now this is becoming risky. It's now more or less at the same height of my shoulder, and if I'll choose this drum for daily practice, big mistake. If I can make my chair slightly higher. It will make things a bit easier, but again, I would not choose this drum for myself for daily practice. If I go bigger for 21-inch, this is going to kill my shoulder in no time. See, it's very clear that the drum is too big. Now, there's a very important differentiation that we need to make clear. There's a difference between a drum that you're planning to practice every day and a drum that is just another tone for your concerts. Meaning, I have many different sizes, anything between 12 and 21 inches. However, some of them will never be my practicing drums. They will be serving me to play specific songs in concerts or recording sessions. My practicing drums should be smaller and safe for my shoulder, because it's one thing to play a drum, a 21-inch drum, for 5 minutes in a concert every now and then, and it's a whole different thing to be playing a drum every day for whatever, half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours a day. So when choosing your first drum, don't think about the deepest tone that you want to have. Don't worry. If you'll fall in love with the frame drum, you will have more than just one drum. You need to think practically on the health of your shoulder and the health of your hands. What drum can I play every day and still keep my hands safe? So the next element is the depth of the drum. So I personally play deeper drums. This is about 12 centimeters. And the reason I play deep frame drums is because I like to have a nice support for my wrist and forearm. Okay, so yes, it's possible to play shallow frame drums, but for lapstyle frame drum, personally, I would recommend for you to go deeper than 10 centimeters to feel safe. Having the weight of your hand resting on the frame comfortably is a key element for the health of your shoulder and for the health of all of your muscles. Remember that we're trying to play while keeping our hands as relaxed as possible. Having a nice support will help that. The other element is the type of skin. So we have a few options to choose from. The other element is the type of skin. So when choosing a skin, you have two factors to take into consideration. One is the type of skin, natural or synthetic, and the other is the thickness of the skin. So between the type of skins, in the natural skin department, you have mostly calf and goat, and in the synthetic skin, you'll have different materials. It doesn't really matter their names. Now, it's important to mention that natural skins have the true sound of the frame drum, right? The ancient sound. This is the real thing. However, they are completely depending on humidity. which is a very risky thing with frame drums, because frame drums have a tone. If you're planning to play with other people, on stage or off stage, doesn't matter. Remember that the frame drum needs to be tuned to the tonality of the song that you're playing. So if you tune the frame drum and suddenly the humidity changes in the room or on stage, the tuning of the drum changes, and that's not good. On the other hand, the synthetic skins are reliable in the way that you tune them and it stays. Doesn't matter what happens in the weather. On the other hand, the sound tries to imitate the sound of the natural skin. It's important to mention that some of the companies now do a very good job on doing it's important to mention that some of the companies are doing a very good job imitating the natural skin sound, but still it's not exactly the same. In terms of thickness, having a thin in terms of thickness, having a thin skin will have a rich overtone full sound, and having a thicker sound will make a drier, less overtone sound. Personally, I like to play medium thickness in both natural and synthetic skins. The next element is the tuning mechanism. If you buy a super cheap drum for the beginning, or just very, very traditional drums, you will see that they won't have a tuning mechanism. That could be okay for the beginning, but again, eventually when you will want to play with other people, you will need a tuning mechanism for your drum, again because the frame drum has a tone to it. It's not like a rick or like a darbuka that they have a drier sound. The frame drum has a long sustaining tone to it. So if you could choose between having a tuning mechanism or not having, I would definitely recommend taking a drum with a tuning mechanism. To summarize all of this, my recommendations: if you're a beginner and you realistically plan to play with other people off or on stage, I would say start with a synthetic skin with a tuning mechanism. Remember that once you fall in love with the drum, you will have other drums. Professional people have full sets of plastic skins and natural skins. This is not the first drum that you purchase, is not the last drum that you will have. Make sure that the diameter is not too big for you. Now, practically speaking, if I would break it down in terms of height, so if you're very tall, let's say 180 centimeters and above, you can consider 19 to 20 inch at the maximum diameter. It's a bit risky, but you can consider it. If you're medium height like me, I would say don't go beyond 17 inch for practicing drum. And if you are shorter, in around 160, 65, etc., you are already in the 15, 14 inch diameter. Okay, everybody, that's it for today. I hope this helps you. Let me know if you have any questions. Good luck. Bye-bye.